It was a place of memories. The soft earth beneath her feet, the acrid autumnal smell of bonfires, an old song crackling from the speaker of a distant radio. Everything about the allotment reminded Yasmin of a summer's day many years ago. How old had she been? 6? 7? Her grandfather, holding her hand, walking her along the path between the bean poles and trellises, the greenhouses and garden sheds. He had handed her a small red trowel, its paint peeling to reveal the dull metal beneath, and shown her how to dig up the dandelions which, in the few short weeks he'd been away, had infested one corner of his patch. They'd spent the whole afternoon there, in the allotment, digging up weeds, eating jam sandwiches, and drinking tea from a tartan-patterned thermos flask. They listened to the radio and counted butterflies, and when, accidentally, her grandfather hit his thumb with a hammer, he swore loudly in Punjabi, hoping she hadn't understood him. But she had. Was that the last time she'd come here? Probably. Definitely. 12 years ago. And by the look of the place, it had been a year or more since the old man's last visit. Sad to see it in such a state. Everything overgrown, and with nothing edible or pretty. His old shed, his home away from home as he'd called it, now so run down, its wooden walls green with moss, and a gaping hole in its felt roof. Her dread all afternoon had been that she'd find the door forced open and someone living there, or the aftermath of some teenager's party, empty bottles and cigarette ends. But she needn't have worried. The padlock was in place and the door locked. Even so, it took some effort to pull the door open. Once inside, she saw a world of cobwebs and dust and decay. What had she hoped to find? Framed photographs on the walls? There was one. A single black and white image of her grandfather and his brother as boys, standing outside the family home in Lahore, one holding a cricket bat, the other a ball. Books? Again, only one. A grime-covered Haynes manual for the Austin Maxi, a car Yasmin had never even heard of, let alone seen. The photo she'd take with her. As for everything else. Her brother Saeed would order a skip from the city council, and everything in this shed would be thrown away, forever. Except now she noticed something else. Something new, nestled on the ground amongst the splinters of a shattered floorboard, coated in the same layer of filth and dust as everything else, but in amongst all the muck, something bright and gleaming. What was it? She crouched down to get a closer look, wiped away some of the dirt, and lifted it up from the shallow hole in the floor. Torchwood. Fallout by David Llewellyn. Read by Tom Price. An egg. That's what it looked like. One of those jewelled eggs that she'd seen on a TV show once. Faberge eggs, she thought they were called. Except it wasn't really egg-shaped, but it was jewelled. Green gemstones, or what looked like gemstones, lining the shell, and the shell itself made of metal. Maybe not gold or silver, but something shiny nonetheless. Her first thought was, what is it? Her second was, maybe it's worth something. She instantly felt a wave of guilt. Maybe this thing, this egg, this whatever, had been precious to her grandfather. How would he feel if he were here now, knowing that she wanted to sell it? She needed time to think. She had to tell her parents, only problem being they were at a wedding in Pakistan. Okay, then she'd tell her brother. Except she knew exactly what Saeed would say. Sell it. She stepped outside to get a better look at the egg. She'd never seen it before. Her grandfather had never mentioned it, and neither had her parents. Surely, if it had been that important to them, they would have said something. So maybe they should sell it. Maybe it would be worth something. Where was he? 6:30, he'd said. Now it was nearing 7, the time when the buyer was meant to arrive, and still no sign of Saeed. But then, had her brother ever been reliable? The doorbell rang, and Yasmin almost fell off her chair. She took a deep breath to calm herself, stood, and went to the front door. Through the frosted glass, she saw the outline of just one person, a man, and a very short man at that. The fact...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?